Well, I'm not finding the right list here, so I'm going to have to wing this one. This has been on my mind. I'm not sure exactly why, and most of you already know this, so you could probably just skip this video. I just wanted to do a quick little rundown of necessary equipment versus desired equipment. I'll probably do the desired equipment in a different video, but if none of us knows if we'll ever be in a position where we will need to produce crops and food that will last us from one year to the next. If that became necessary, it's just very comforting to know that we could do it. And if with the right equipment and the right seeds, you theoretically would be able to do that from one year to the next. Of course, the basic equipment that you would need to do that if you didn't have access to a freezer would be a water bath canning pot, which can be almost any pot that's large enough to cover the jars with an inch or two of water over the top. I used my canning pot without the wire rack in it for many years, and it did just fine. I had no problems with it at all because my wire rack disintegrated after a while. So a water bath canning pot, of course, would be a required piece of equipment. A pressure canner with an extra pressure, with an extra, what do you call that thing, a gasket, unless you are fortunate enough to have one of the newer canners that are metal to metal and have no gasket. Those are a little more money. So extra gaskets, and of course canning jars, canning lids. A funnel is almost a necessity. A jar lifter is almost a necessity. But you should be able to pick these things up for a decent, reasonable price, or you should be able to pick them up at garage sales or on eBay possibly. Canning equipment also would include, of course, the jars, the rings, extra lids, a book of instructions so that you know how long to pressure can or to water bath your products and which are which. So you need to understand that for the most part, it's fruits and pickles go in a water bath canner, and for the most part, it's all the other vegetables. Tomatoes, they suggest now with some of the low acid varieties that you add vinegar or lemon juice to the tomatoes if you're going to water bath them to increase the acidity so that they're safe, because some of the low acid ones are not that safe apparently. So canning books, emergency fuel, all the lids and the jars and the lifter and the pots. You should be able to pick up extra pressure canners from eBay if you can't find them locally at garage sales. And if you have the money and you want to spend it on the metal to metal canner that has no gasket, think of the name of that. The gaskets usually come with an overpressure plug with them, and so that's an advantage too. But if you have the money for the metal to metal canner, that's really nice as well. So this is, you know, the queen of redundancy here. That to me is necessary equipment, along with some type of pesticide, whether it's a natural pesticide that you mix up in your kitchen to keep the bugs away, or if you decide to go with a chemical pesticide, or rotenone is Rotenone, I think is how you spell it. Rotenone is very handy to have in the garden, and it's not toxic as well. So rotenone might be something that you'd want to put on your list. But definitely the ingredients to make organic sprays, which would be things like hot pepper, garlic, peppermint, even marigolds, all in a brew, and dish soap. That's all. I'm going to get tongue-tied again. That's the necessary equipment. We'll talk about desired equipment later. Bye.